Hey crew, welcome back to another episode of the Skippy Report. In this episode, I have my good friend JT Robinson from just outside of Kenosha, Wisconsin. And in this episode, JT gets to share his Telemark Tale, which is very interesting. Lots of stories, which is one of the best things about listening to JT and all his adventures of being a pro Telemark skier, competitor, mountain biker, mountain guide, you name it, JT does it. Anyway, so grab yourself a beverage, kick back, and enjoy this episode with JT Robinson here on the Skippy Report. JT.
I'm here.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Welcome to the Skippy Show, or the Skippy Report.
Let me turn the music off. There we go.
That's like me. I had music playing just before I got on here.
Background.
Yeah, making sure, because my computer bounces between what my wife does and what I do. So half the time she hooks it back up and it's like, okay, where's all the mics? Where's all the speakers?
Yeah, that could go poorly.
Yeah. So welcome home. I know you're like a globetrotter in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's busy.
Yeah, it is.
It's good. It's not what I always wanted.
Yeah.
Busy is good. I call it a good problem.
Yes, for sure. And this year you did a little more traveling because of the lack of snow in Utah.
Yeah, my base in Ogden, Utah, had a tough year this year. All of Utah did. A lot of the West did. But
yeah,
it resulted in me going and spending a whole bunch of time in Alaska, which was awesome.
Now, was that for personal ski purposes? Because I don't know where you are in your guiding voyage, I guess.
Yeah. It was a bit of everything.
Okay.
That was the beauty of the trip. And when I was I came home to my summer home in Wisconsin quite a bit this winter, with Ogden being what it was. When I was here deliberating like what I'm going to do about my winter, am I going to leave Ogden early and go up north? And that was part of it. Was like, okay, what do I have to do up there that's going to be efficient? And if it's so I have all the AMGA stuff, which I'm a late comer to the AMGA, which is a whole nother story that we can get into.
Yeah.
So I have to do a bunch of stuff for them, which includes checking off some ski mountaineering boxes.
Okay.
And so I have to do a certain amount of that on glaciated terrain, which where can I go? That's good glaciated terrain, Alaska, right?
Exactly.
And then I also work at this place called the Monument Ranch in Utah, and we do heli skiing there.
Right.
And so with heli skiing clientele, I'm looking at Alaska, where I used to do a bunch of heli skiing back in my heyday and all of that. And I've been up there for a variety of things for years. So there was doing some of that kind of work up there and connecting into the heli industry up there again.
Awesome.
Getting dialed up. And then there's a bunch of personal projects up there and stuff. I have an old friend, John Gurry, that lives up there, and him and I have been chasing stuff around his backyard up there for years and stuff as well, which I didn't get to do as much of this year because of AMGA and other business stuff. But John waits patiently for me when I'm available and can do the thing. So he's a good partner and a good friend up there. So that was part of all of that was part of Alaska this year.
Wow.
So I was up there for about a month.
Yeah. So when you said you went space cowboy on me, I was like, no. Like, you know, you do your thing and just fit me in wherever you can.
Well, my life is very unconventional. And so it's, I have to disclaimer that with folks sometimes, to be like, hey, like if I have trail stuff in the summer, I'm like, hey, I'm probably going to disappear until May 1. So we'll talk again then, but I'm not ghosting you. I'm just in I'm in a whole different place.
That's right. Yeah. So hey, introduce yourself to the listeners, because there may be some listeners who may not know of you, JT Robinson, but I'm going to hypothesize most of the listeners know who you are.
Yeah, well, the Telemark world runs deep and we're all connected. But I am JT Robinson is my name. And I've been in the Telemark world for a long, long time, which is obviously how you and I come together, which is the whole point of this podcast. But I grew up in Wilmot, Wisconsin. I live there again now in the summer mostly. because I'm a ski guide in the winter now.
Right.
Back in my heyday, I was a pro Telemark skier.
Yeah.
And obviously, once again, that's how this all comes together. But
that's right.
I've maintained my Telemark skier status despite having to do some alpine skiing from time to time. But,
right.
I see it as tools and in the quiver and do the thing. But I still love Telemark, and more than anything, it's the Telemark scene, the folks, the community, the folks like you and stuff, and get to stay in touch with all of that. And so that was all part of that world. And then that grew into ski guiding now. And back in those days, I mentioned John Gurry.
Yeah.
We started a group called Vertical Integration back then with myself and John and Zach Houston and our old buddy Ben Geiger, and did that in the Telemark world with media and content and all that for a long time, and then evolved into a crusty old ski guide now. And
you're not that crusty or old.
I'm getting crustier and crustier as I get older.
Oh,
so, I own it, and so it's good.
Yeah. I just say lack tolerance.
Yeah, right. It's whatever.
Yeah. So, how did you get into telemark skiing in the first place?
Yeah, the classic. So I grew up in Wisconsin, Wilmot, moved out to Ogden to go to school at Weber State.
Right.
Got a job at a diner, and a bunch of guys that I worked with at the diner and I became ski buddies, one of which was Ben Geiger, who I mentioned, as co-founder with Vertical Integration. Him and I and the crew were skiing around. We had some mentors there, this guy Paul Wright and Jeff Lee and a couple other folks. And back in those days, you used Telemark to access the backcountry.
Right.
And we were coming in right on the tail end of that movement right before AT came to the show. And so all of our mentors that were doing the kind of things we wanted to do in the backcountry and in big mountain terrain were on telegear.
Right.
And so Jeff Hacking was another one of those guys, but like they kind of convinced Ben to switch first.
Right.
And he's like, okay. So he switches the first year, and through that year, I'm still skiing with them and doing the thing. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like this. I want to do the backcountry thing. And so I make the switch then. So now it's Ben and I. Well, and then the rest of the homies from college, Weber State crew guys, all started dropping like flies too, with Zach and Tony, and we never got Rob to switch, but there's still hope maybe. But
right. So
then we had a whole crew of tele skiers, and it just kind of, the infection took off, and that's kind of where VI grew out of.
Right.
My buddy Rob was a filmer and enjoyed it just on a hobby level, and we started filming just for fun with each other.
Right. And
that blended into then when I started doing the pro telemark skiing thing and Tough Guy Productions and the Powdwerwhore days and Wide Dream Productions and all of them.
Right.
I was like, hey, wait a minute. Like, we're filming. Is it any good? I was like, well, not really. But if you put it on a tripod and you buy this camera to do this, you might not mess it up so much that we can't use it.
Right.
So I was like, okay, yeah. And that's how VI was kind of born.
And you know what, like putting stuff on a tripod, because you've got, I don't know if people who watch ski movies, I don't think they realize how far the videographer or the filmographer is from you guys skiing down the hill. You know,
well, especially back in those days before drones became a big thing. Back in those days, we used to get those Barbie angles by being an entire ridge away, shooting back at the skier, trying to get up in as high elevation as we could. So, you got to put it on a big, nasty tripod, and you got to buy, back then, a big, nasty camera, and you got to lug the whole thing up the hill and set it on the ridge.
Yeah.
Drones nowadays are pretty awesome. Oh, so that's cool.
Yeah. It was especially interesting watching the use of them in skiing in the last Olympics.
Yeah, well, and even in our little tele industry, like the Telecalo boys. And, CJ and them are using drones pretty well. And I've gotten to shoot with them a little bit the last couple of years and watch them work on a variety of trips. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah, and you brought up Telecalo because you're like the voice of their films.
I did one. I
Oh,
did
did you? Oh,
voiced
okay.
over one film. Yeah, they.
I was like, hey, man, he's like Johnny Mosley level here.
Right. Yeah, of course, all the old buddies are like, Warren Miller did it better. Yeah. But yeah, no, I did my best. CJ asked me if I could help out with that on that project. That was super cool to do. And
yeah,
I had shot with them earlier that year. I
right.
think that was the year we went to the North London
Oh, yes.
site,
Yeah.
or the North London
The mill.
Yep. An office that another teleskier.
Okay. Yep.
That runs that.
Yeah.
Jeff Crane and his wife, or his partner Katie, doing that whole project. And that was kind of how CJ and I came together. Was I was like, I'm scouting huts to do some things. There's these couple huts that are tele owned,
right,
and have cool stories. So like, do you want to come with me when I go check these places out for my guiding stuff? And
right.
Like, yeah, for sure. So we brought a Telecalo crew both to the North London Mill, and then I think it was last year we went to Eben Mond and his wife Darcy have the Raven's Nest hut.
Okay.
In the Front Range there, and we went out there last year and did it again. But
right.
I didn't have to do voiceover work for that one, thankfully.
Now we jumped into your university days, college days.
Yeah.
You skied as a young person, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up in Wilmot, Wisconsin, and we have a little ski resort here that's now Vail-owned property. It's kind of where Chicago, Illinois, and comes to ski. Milwaukee is right here. That's where I live now, again, in the summer, the last 5 or 6 or whatever years. And so we grew up there. My dad grew up in Wilmot, and like generations of Wilmot people. My grandpa upholstered the chairs, some of which might still be on. Hopefully they've gotten all those chairs off by now. But yeah, but grandpa upholstered the chairs, worked in maintenance, grandma, and you know, I got cousins that still work there. And so the Robinson roots run deep in Wilmot. And so my dad was a racer as a kid, you know, JO racer, and got me and my brother into skiing, and the rest was kind of history.
And
Colorado as a kid.
And you're of the vintage where our parents would take us out there, drop us off, and leave us for the day if they weren't skiers themselves, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. We had night skiing at Wilmot, which was a blessing as well.
Yes.
And so like I could go after school, and it was like a cool little taste of freedom back then. Like they drop you off and you go look around with your buddies and just be back when the bell chimes and don't be late.
I know that, you know, we've got a little place just north of us that would be like your resort, and it's the best place to teach a child the freedom, like how to navigate a small little ski hill, so that when they're a little older and you go further afield to the larger places, you know, they feel comfortable and you feel comfortable that, you know, they can navigate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to learn, obviously, right? Everybody knows that stuff. Like these small Midwest hills are great places to learn. But I still love skiing there when I can too, you know, like my wife and kids ski there now. My dad still skis there all the time. And it's a vibe, you know, like it's the hometown, it's the high fives, it's the nuances in snow, right? You find it in different ways. Like when I ski at Wilmot, I get on shorter, snappier skis and I feel the snow. Some of it's man-made. Oh, we got some new stuff and all stuff like that. And you find it in the different things. You don't need a huge. I get that way even when I'm out west and stuff. And ski guiding is like, yeah, this runs 500 vertical feet. They're like, oh, it's not that big. Yeah, it's 500 vertical feet, but it's clean. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How many vertical feet do you need? Like, I like quality.
Yeah. You know what? Like I said in my last podcast that came out on Friday, it was like right after COVID and our hill opened and I got back on there. And the first run, we always warm up on this little tiny pitch. And, you know, the first couple of turns, my thighs were going like, what the hell are you doing to us, you know? And then I finished that run off. It might have been, I don't know, 400 feet long, maybe not even. I was like, those are the best turns I've ever done in my life. That can be my ski season. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know,
right. That's I talk a lot about comparing runs and stuff when I'm guiding and like, was that a good run? Like, yeah, the run before that might've been better. Or the run before that was better. It's like, hey, was it a good run? Like, we don't want to, you know, if I lived a life of comparison with my runs, I had some runs in my heyday in my pro bro years in Alaska and Japan that I will probably never top again in my life. So should I just quit, or was that a great run? Yes, it was a great run. Oh, the first one had more vert. Well, this one might have been shorter, but it was pretty good, wasn't it? Like, yeah, it was good. Cool. It was good.
Yeah.
High five. Good run.
Yeah.
Like, let's just stop there. And it's a good run.
Yeah. I talk about the Indy Pass all the time because I love it, because it's all small places, right? And it's, you know, the mom and pop, the vibe of the mom and pop scenes and that sort of stuff. You know, Sean and I thrive off of that, just the ski culture of these, you know, skiing at Marquette Mountain. I never ever heard of it before. And it's like, what? Or Nub's Knob, or, you know,
sure.
it's
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's like, there's all those facets to skiing in general. And then telemark skiing as well, I think, adds more layers.
Yes.
And so it's like, you can find that anywhere you can slide down the hill. Like, and that's what's like with telemark, is you and I travel around. We do go to festivals and stuff like that. Like, I was at, obviously, Midwest Telefest is the classic, and where I participated, but then like the free healer guys over in Europe.
Oh yeah.
And Richard and those guys, like, and there's a whole variety of them. They do festivals so well over there.
Oh, I know you like, the music, you know, Sam Mazerai and John, like, they haul their equipment, you know, or they're taking their equipment up. Or I said Sam, I meant Bob, but he takes his stand-up bass up to the top of the mountain where the chalet is, and they're playing music up there. I was like, what?
Yeah, for sure. And like Richard and the gang and all those guys, they do it such a good job.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I mean. Like, there's so many pieces, like the festival, and like you're at the resort there, and like ski instructors. And I got a chance to work with a bunch of them at the last free healer I went to, and like feeling nuance. And I started talking about like style moves and like hand draggers and like all this stuff. And then they were teaching me things too, because I'm not a ski instructor.
Right.
And I walked in there like, oh God, these guys are going to hate me because I'm breaking all the ski instructor rules and doing all this weird stuff. But it was great. They loved it. Like, you're breaking this rule, that rule, that rule. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, try it. Yeah. And they would try it, and they were like, oh, I kind of like that a little bit.
I find that hand dragger, that gives you the more surfier type of turn.
Yeah, well,
you know, like,
that's the beauty of telemark, right? Is we can do whatever we want. There's like the basic telemark turn that these guys teach, and like that you should master. And like, ski instructors, like, they will light years speed up your learning curve to like do it well. Yeah. And like the race scene that you've participated in, like the similar kind of technical skill, right? But then when you start adding in the style, it's almost like Jedi Master stuff to me. That's like, this is why I love telemark, is like, for me, it's an art. Yeah. And like, I let the mountain dictate how I'm going to do it. And like, oh, there's like a wave spine feature. I'm going to get up on the side of that thing and drag a hand and kick a leg out and slash that thing and put a spray up over the top. And like, you know, like,
you're describing my water skiing scene when I'm on my slalom ski.
That's all related. Like, I get seasick, so I can't actually surf in the ocean. Yes. And I'm not very good at it, but it's the same type of thing, right? Surfing or water skiing and snowboarding and regular alpine skiing, and then tele skiing. Like, Craig Dostie has this great way of describing with Telly the sweet spot thing, and he goes, like, alpine skiing, you've got that sweet spot. It's like you're right in this size somewhere. And snowboarding, it seems like it gets a little bigger. It's out here. And then telemark, it's whatever you want.
Oh yeah, it's like an accordion.
Yeah, and you can like elongate it, or you can make it more acute, and you can play around with it. And I'm just like, eating it up, you know. Like, tell me more, Sensei Craig.
That's great analogies to what the feeling is with the telemark turn, right? It's you can adjust that radius, I guess, or like you said, that spot, get it short, snappy, long and surfy. You know, it's
use it, and you can use it too for like whatever you're doing or however you're doing. And like alpine parallel turns, like, call them what you want. If you need that, like, I'm more of the free heel side of it, where it's like I need to make whatever turn I need to. And especially as a ski guide, it's utility. And that's why I love tele skiing for ski guiding too, because of, I call it the shuffle factor.
Right.
Like, oh, I have to like throw a bomb over here, right? And so I'll get my explosive ready and like shuffle.
Yeah.
Do my thing, place my charge, shuffle. And it's super easy on tele gear versus alpine gear, where I'm like, tick, 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 tick. Like, oh, I came up just low of my safe zone on my line. Like, oh, I can easily shuffle up to the spot, and especially if I got my volley fish scales on. But, you know, that's a whole nother addition of my.
Well, you know what? A lot of people. I don't have that type of. We don't call it backcountry. I guess we call it wood skiing, ski in the woods here. But you know, like I've put bindings on for a friend of mine on a volley skis like that, and you know, he goes out in his back 40. He has his ski houses on the Niagara Escarpment, and he can ski the woods right out his back door.
Yeah, I love it so much. And maybe this is an age thing for me too. Obviously, back in my heyday, I was Johnny Pro Bro, like giving her hard charge or big lines. But like now that I'm settling into my elder years, like meadow skipping, oh my God.
You're right. I
love it so much. And like a good fish scale setup with like the whole volley lineup. Like, I have like I have a 3-ski quiver I keep, and each of them is now flat bottom and fish scale.
Okay.
Because I love it so much. And where I'm at in Ogden, we have a lot of long flat approaches.
Right.
And fish scales just shine on a long flat approach.
Right.
They're a little tough on the long flat exit, but I'm in no hurry anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the efficiency of early morning, obviously have the TTS transit binding too. So I pull the hard wires off. I'm super lightweight, fish scale. They just fly through the long flat approaches in the Ogden range. And then I'm out to these more remote terrain quicker than everybody else, and efficiently from my energy perspective, which is also something I have to take into consideration when you're carrying 40 pounds on your back too. But I'm a big fish scale fan, but they are a time and place tool, right? Like if I'm down in the Cottonwoods where you've got a beautiful road that punches you right up into the steep terrain, it's like you just skins on right out the car. So you're going up steep Salt Lake Skinners, you know? So your fish scales are useless if you're going steep.
That's right.
And so that's where you keep the skins in the bag no matter what, but take advantage of that glide efficiency and that light weight on your feet, because 1 pound off your feet is 5 pounds out of your pack.
Right.
So if you can be light and fast in the morning, skins in the bag, you get up to the steeper terrain, you just throw skins on like any other ski and do your thing. Or with a good meadow skip, you set the nice fish scale, low angle elevator skin track, and then you just stay in your fish scales and meadow skip 5, 6, 700 vert laps, like wow, and just smash. And the transition is so fast at that point in the TTS, because then you leave the wires on, and it's just like flip the heel off, lock it under your thing, keep on moving. You don't have to take anything off, and you just ski, flip, right back on the elevator, nice fish scale friendly elevator skin track. And I don't get a whole lot of days off anymore, but when I do, that's usually what I go do. In like 500 vert laps or 600 vert laps or something like that.
So that's interesting how you're describing the TTS binding, because with the new Newmark ATK, you actually have to take your boot off to get that bottom cartridge, the bottom piece on, right? Which is it's cool, you know. And I like a lot of people say similarly for the TTS, you got to take the ski off to put the hard wire on. I do like you got a trick,
like a bit of a yoga move, and I can put my hard wires on without taking my toes out of the cage.
Oh, cool.
I've practiced that move, and it's not incredibly easy, especially for big guys like you and my buddy John, right? Like, tall, big, long, lanky dudes, right? Like, but it is possible. But I don't know about that Newmark. That was the one. I've been obviously watching that. I think it's super cool to see more and more innovation and how that one works. I haven't got to see it in person yet. I'm looking forward to it. But with the TTS, you can do it on and off without the thing. But the beauty of the TTS, I guess, versus the Newmark is you don't have to take it off every time if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And so you can just buckle it down below your heel lifter and keep going.
It's kind of that yoga move you said you've mastered. It's kind of like, I'm always amazed at people who can take their skins off without taking their skis off. They got that hop and the flexibility.
I can take them off.
Yeah.
And I can put them on.
What?
Without taking them off. I've come to be like, if I don't ever have to take my toes out of the pins in a ski day or in a guide day, it's really like more helpful than you would think.
Really?
It's like you start taking your skis off, you're post holing and like whatever. And I'm like, wait, if I can get good at these little yoga moves and do the stuff and like not have to take my skis off all day long, that's pretty efficient. But I get weird out there.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, like when I first started telemark skiing, I realized the differences in the side of my body. And a lot of people, when they start telemark skiing, they're like, whoa, one side of my body is weaker or it's stiffer. And my phys ed background was like, I need to do yoga, man.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm a believer. I don't actually like practice with any my mother does it, swears by it. I am a complete believer. I think personally, flexibility is the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Whether you get it through yoga or maybe, Pilates or whatever, I don't even know what most of these things are, but like I stretch often.
Yes.
And more dynamic stretching type stuff, which mimics a lot of what I've seen of yoga. But I think flexibility is the fountain of youth. When I was a kid, there was a local chiropractor, Dr. Dull, that used to do these speed camps and stuff. And he had a saying, though, that stuck with me through all that. That was, if you double your flexibility, you quadruple your strength, which I don't know if that's true math or anything, but it made a whole lot of sense because he was talking about lean muscle and injury prevention and flexibility and stuff like that. And ever since then,
I will ask my physiotherapist tomorrow when I see him, as I've been working through this kind of right leg injury that I have. That is,
I'm a big fan of like rules of thumb and like little things like that where I can make complex things simple for myself. And that was one of them where it's like, you know what, stretching is the fun.
Well, and like my massage therapist and the listeners have heard this before, motion is lotion.
Oh yeah, right.
Like
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. As my dad ages, he's a testament to that too, where he's like, just keep the motor moving.
Yeah.
Just keep it going.
Yeah. Like even today, the listeners know that my knees are shot, but I'm feeling good. We've been back in the pool a lot. We've stopped traveling and, and doing what my physiotherapist said. Yeah. It's like, because I don't go for long walks anymore because it feels like somebody's burning a cigarette on my medial meniscus.
Right. But like, then it's like the strategy, at least from what I can see, is like, what can you do?
Yeah.
What does work for you and feel good? And how do you incorporate motion?
Yeah. And it's like yesterday in the pool, I got warmed up. I'm doing the freestyle. In the first 5 strokes, I could feel this specific muscle in my shoulder. And it's like, okay, I don't want to stop. How do I change my stroke? And then that muscle must have warmed up. And then I was back to my normal stroke, so. Yeah.
When I was in college, I was a lifeguard at a local pool and we had to do all the lifeguard stuff. But to this day, I said that was the summer that I got in the best shape of my life because of the swimming.
Yeah.
Swimming is like amazingly fantastic. I haven't kept up with it nearly as much as I should, but it doesn't get any better than swimming, in my opinion.
My wife is a shark. So she said when we retired, she goes, I want to swim every day. And I was like, at the point, I was like, well, lane swimming is at 7 a.m. And you said you didn't want to get up before 7. So
how bad do you want it?
Yeah. So since COVID, they changed all the time. So now they've got swimming in the afternoon, which I think she likes. And she was remarking the other day, she goes, your backstroke's not that good because you're not rotating around your axis. So I was working on it and I realized why, because I almost drowned whitewater kayaking. And it took me a year to get over the anxiety producing feelings that water around my neck from doing the backstroke. So now I think I've progressed that when I'm doing the backstroke and I'm rotating and part of my face goes in the water, I get a little tense. I was like, you know what? I'll just go back to the inefficient one. And you know what? I'll burn more energy and work harder. I don't care.
What you're doing anyways, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I almost got smoked in a whitewater situation too. When once it's like, you're so sketchy.
I was.
Water's so dangerous.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. I was my last breath away from inhaling water when my partner came and did a tea rescue on me. I was like, nice. I came up out of the water and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I had a similar coming to Jesus moment as well. Tough stuff.
And I learned when I was in Salt Lake City skiing with Josh, I think on my first powder day, it was like blower powder and I wiped out and I inhaled snow and I was like, oh shit, that's just like water or liquid water, right?
Yeah, especially if you get a bunch of it in your mouth and it congeals in there.
Oh my gosh, it's like
choking on a snowball.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's also very dangerous water, as it turns out.
It is. It's like cyclists who are out in the spring and those midges and gnats are out and you inhale one and you're trying to get it out and it's fighting to still go forward. And you're
Yeah, I know that. Our mosquito population here in Wisconsin is quite robust.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Riding your mountain bike, you got to
keep moving.
Ride with your mouth closed.
Right.
Yeah, don't stop.
So the other story I think is my favorite story of you is how you funded skiing out of university. If you could share that with the listeners, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's
because you have a business degree, correct?
I do have a finance degree.
Yeah.
That's where the vertical integration concept came from, which is like take more control of your sources and stuff. But yes, so finance. I went to college at Weber State and I was going to get a finance degree, and it's coming into my senior year, and you have to do like your senior project, basically like a thesis, if you will, and you have to get it approved by your professor as well. And so everybody else in my graduating class is doing stock analysis and all the things, because we were all convinced we were going to be Johnny Wall Street. I had a job lined up after college with Merrill Lynch. Everything was looking good. And that's when I started doing teleski comps, was that senior year, and did well enough for the light to turn on, and I got a few sponsors. And so basically I had a coming to Jesus moment where it was like, I have two life paths laid out in front of me. I either become a financial advisor and go to Merrill Lynch in Chicago, or I go down this ski road and go compete and try this pro Telemark skier thing. It was tough, but went through a lot, talked to a lot of people, my dad, all these different folks, looked for epiphanies in life and all the things you do, and ended up saying, okay, you know what? I was sitting in the business offices of the university, which is like, it's school, but they almost make it seem just like an office, right? Because you're practicing basically.
Yeah.
Your office life. And I'm sitting in these offices all day, and like at Weber State was great because I could maintain my schedule, where I would go to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and ski Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was fantastic. But even on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm sitting in this office for 12 hours. Oh. And I'm like, is this the life that I want after this, or do I do this ski thing? And so I decided to do the ski thing, but I still have this senior project laid out in front of me that I have to do. And I'm like, well, I could analyze stock, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go work at Merrill Lynch. So like, maybe I can use this to do something toward this other path. And so I came up with this whole concept of the 6-month CD ladder, which CD, certificate of deposit, you buy them from the bank. They're a low interest savings tool, super easy to get. Don't make very much interest, but the key for me was it got the money out of my hands.
Right. We have the same in Canada called GICs, guaranteed interest certificates, I think, or investment certificates. Same thing.
Yeah, right. And it just gets the money out of your hands, sits in here for a certain period. You can get them for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, 10 years. There's all kinds of stuff, but you can get a 6-month one. And so I was like, okay, if I can set up this 6-month CD ladder where every month in the summer I buy one of these CDs, it gets my monthly cash flow that I'll need for winter out of my hands. Right. And then it matures right when I need it to pay my bills in the winter. I'm like, okay, well, that would be cool. I'm like, well, and then at that point, I've got to really lay out my cash flow timeline of what my first season as a pro skier is going to look like.
Right.
Oh, and then the problem is incentive contracts as a pro skier back then. You don't get paid until the following year when all your stuff publishes.
Oh, okay.
So that first winter is actually the most critical winter.
Yeah.
Because you have to work that whole winter and pay for your whole winter.
Right.
Unless you can get sponsor support, which is another part of that piece.
Yeah.
But pay for your whole winter before you ever get a check from that production.
You sound like a cash crop farmer.
It's all business. It's all, it's all the thing.
Yeah.
And so I come up with this kind of idea. Well, then I got to go to my professor and sell this thing to her.
Yeah.
And so I dream this whole thing up, and I walk into her office and I'm like, okay. She's like, okay, what do you got? I'm like, okay. So I lay this whole thing out, and she's sitting there behind her desk, not saying a whole lot. And she's like, you know what? I've never even heard anything like this, and I don't even know what to say. She goes, but I kind of love it. And like, it's useful for this life decision that you obviously just made a lot of progress, or took a lot of time to make. So she's like, let's do it. I'm in. Let's go.
Right.
Let's see where this goes. And she'll see, she supported it. And so I did the thing. And so I laid this all out: cash flow timeline, cheap cell phone, ski bum accommodations in the same college house that I was living in with the ski homies, like super cheap. I've got my Jeep. I can kit out my Jeep Cherokee to sleep in it. And I've got this comp and this comp and this comp. And then I've got this film project with Tough Guy Productions. And I've got this film project with and I set up my whole winter, cash flow timelined all of that out with all my travel, and then built that CD ladder to pay for it.
Wow.
And so then the off season, old family friend Brad Sanderson gave me a good job on the project redoing Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewer District stuff, where I could make good labor wages, lived at home during that time. And so every month I'd buy a CD.
Right.
And it would sit for 6 months. The first one was bigger because I had to buy a ski pass and pay my bills for that winter. And then the second and third and fourth, and all the way through the 6 months of my winter were all laid out then. And so I did it. And I went through that whole summer, worked for 7 months, bought all the CDs, got all my stuff set up, filled up my Jeep with leftover turkey sandwiches from Mom, and drove across and pulled it off. And then years later, it became an article in Telemark Skier Magazine.
Yeah.
And got to tell that story. And so then my favorite part of the entire story is then years later, I don't even remember where I was or the kid's name or anything, but this young guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, dude, just want to tell you that I read that article. And he goes, I'm halfway through my winter of my life right now doing the program that you laid out. He's like, it's amazing. I'm loving it. He goes, don't know if I'll pull it off for a long time, but this is the best winter ever. Like, high five. And I'm like, yeah. Like, good job, bud. That was my favorite out of all of it, not just pulling it off myself, but like, seeing somebody else do it was like, yeah, dude.
I know. You know what? Before I heard of your story, I did the same sort of thing for years and years and years. I cycled to work and I paid myself $4 a day, so $20 a week to ride to and from work all year long. And I would take that $20 and put it in a Ziploc snack bag and throw it in my freezer.
Nice.
And then
it's a discipline tool, right?
It is. And then come winter time, you know, especially March break, because being a teacher, we don't get to travel much during the school year. March break was funded, you know, nice. and then I got to give Brady Farms a big plug here. But I think the first year I came up to Midwest Telefest, I brought this young fella up with me and I worked for his farm. And then 2 years ago, I told him what I was doing with the money. So I worked all harvest season and planting season, took all that money, put it away, and Grady Farms sponsored the Lake Superior Circle ski trip that Sean and I did. Yeah, didn't you know? Yeah. And
totally.
We're like ski bums. We skied 16 out of 21 days, and the entire trip, including fuel, not including our Indy pass, but was $2,000 for a 21-day ski trip. Like, how do you know?
Yeah, I think that, people talk whatever about skiing, but I think the ski bum life can still exist. You just, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. We do the ski bum trip, we prep all our meals because, we have a great natural freezer outside in the wintertime. You just leave your food in coolers in the truck, and you just have to, 2 days before you need that meal, you pull it out, let it thaw while you're skiing. And then, we haul a little hot plate and a small air fryer around in and out of hotel rooms or whatever, and then every once in a while we stay somewhere a few extra days so we got caught up on laundry and that sort of stuff. Take a day off, because when you're skiing, when you're old like me and you're skiing every day, you get worn out.
Yeah, I hear you. This is the story of my life now, living out of vehicles and hotel rooms and maintaining energy.
Yeah, you're home now. So when we met for lunch one day at that sausage place there in Kenosha.
The Brat Stop, dude. The Brat Stop.
Brat Stop. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I have to get another shirt one day because I wore that one out.
You know it. Come get a brat and some cheese curds and a spotted cow, and we're doing it.
And were you working for the municipality of Kenosha?
I was, I was working for the Kenosha County Parks Department.
Okay. So where are you now? Because in your social media, we still see you building trails, and that's what you do in your off season.
Yeah. So my wife and I are both from Wilmot. We went to Wilmot High School together. So when we decided to move home, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I'm a ski guide. I'm like, well, how about mountain bike guiding and different stuff like that? So I talked to the Parks Department because they had some mountain bike trails at the time. One little trail system. I was like, hey, I want a permit, this and that. And he's like, oh, well, we don't really know. I don't know. And I was like, well, this is a permit process. This is what it looks like. And sell this to me. He's like, oh, this is really great. Cool. Thanks. We'll talk in the spring when you get back. All right, cool. Well, he called me that winter and he said, hey, we're going to have this trails coordinator position in the Parks Department. Would you be interested in doing that job instead of guiding mountain biking and whatever else you were going to get these permits from us for? I was like, yeah, Monday through Friday, government work. In my hometown area, like it's still at this point, like has need for more outdoor recreation infrastructure.
Right.
And that's part of what I was realizing as I was coming home. We bought some acreage here, and I was coming home in the summers and stuff, and like lumberjacking the property, all these things. And so I was starting to realize that we have some good outdoor recreation infrastructure here. I felt like we could do more. And then I also felt like we could connect it all better and organize and all these things. Well, there was a mountain bike club and all that stuff. So I started volunteering and all that. Well, I end up, this job kind of falls in my lap. And I'm like, well, Monday through Friday, like government job, like pros and cons, I don't know. I was like, well, guiding, as you can imagine, a lot of weekends.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, well, if, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 style, like sounds pretty good. Let's do it. And so I took the job, and I was the trails coordinator for Kenosha County Parks for seven-ish, whatever years. I don't even remember. But last fall, I've decided to move out on my own now.
Okay.
And so I've got so I mentioned we bought this property.
Yeah.
We bought, I call it the mini ranch. We call it the Murphy Ranch. It's my little mini ranch. And I've got a whole trail system here that I've been building, and then working as a trails coordinator for years. Government work has its pros and cons. It was a fantastic experience. Learned a ton, got to build a whole new mountain bike trail system where we took an old road trail system and made it government official, which was very, very difficult process.
Right.
But we got it finished. It's still an ongoing project over there that the Campa guys are doing fantastic work on, that I hope I can get involved again at some point, but I had to kind of like chill for a bit. Like right now I'm focusing mainly on my trails here on my mini ranch at the Murphy Ranch.
So how big is the Murphy Ranch?
It's like 17 and some change acres. Cool. So it's not huge, but it's the beauty of it is that it's an old farmer gravel pit back in the day, and that it's also part of a wetland, and there's a creek that runs through in a pond.
Oh, nice.
It's very hilly terrain. So that's why I liked it, was it's hilly. And
right.
so it's got it's Wisconsin elevation, right? I'm 100 feet of elevation change max, but it's still got elevation.
Yes.
Because I was looking for a trail project when we were going to move home.
Right.
So I wanted to incorporate a project property. And
nice.
We're also into, like, my wife's a beekeeper, and I'm into this permaculture stuff and all that stuff. So that's all part of it. So we've got this Murphy Ranch, the mini ranch, that I've got a bunch of trails. I anticipate I can get about 3 miles in total, maybe 4 when I'm all said and done. I've got a mile roughly of hand-built trail right now in a couple loops. And so I go on my own with the trail stuff. And then I also, part of this whole thing that never really gets seen is way back after college, vertical integration, all the ski stuff. I was also doing real estate things on the side.
Okay.
I'm a tradesman growing up.
Yes.
So I would remodel a house, live in it for a little while, turn it into a rental. And Ben Geiger, who was one of the co-founders of BI, was also my business partner in this endeavor back then.
Right.
We did that. Ben passed away years and years ago of a heart attack, and I ran that business for a while, sold that, but I have this whole background in real estate.
Well, that's sort of like what you did your place in Ogden, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
I called it your ski house, but
totally.
Yeah.
Yep. And so after Ben's widow and I sold that business, we split our money and high-fived, and we're super stoked. So happy to do well for him with that.
Yes.
I took all of that and started reinvesting as well back into real estate stuff. And so now, over the years, again, I have another developing portfolio of real estate stuff with short-term rentals. So like in Utah, where I'm at, I have a little condo by the ski area, and I've got another vacant lot that I'm going to build another place on. And so this is all kind of ties together with the vertical integration concept, as I started to realize if I can bring people to Ogden and guide them, and then I can also provide a place for them to stay, then I'm making my margin larger and providing more services.
Right.
Everything blossoms out of each other, right?
Yes.
So that was all part of that. Well, that real estate portfolio is starting to get to a point where I need to manage it almost full time again.
Wow.
Like the old days. So I'm like, okay. And so now basically my summer is now involved in what I call tract and trail work, where I've got all this property to maintain on the ranch. And I've got these 2 properties in Utah to maintain and do all the thing again as well. And I've got all this trail work as well, both on my ranch and then things that come in now as I'm going out on my own. And so I'm like meeting with some folks I talked to in Madison a few weeks back, and I'm not doing that project, but like there's stuff around here, and the infrastructure here still needs energy, and I still want to give energy to the trail infrastructure here.
Yes.
I just started to realize that, like, what I could do at Kenosha County Parks in the government side, I felt like I got to the point where I kind of maxed out the progress I could make there. And I started to look more toward the private side, like Wilmot Mountain, Grand Geneva, and Alpine Valley, and Lake Geneva Zipline Adventures. All these places have trail systems here.
Right, yeah.
And so it's this emerging, really great trail riding and like outdoor recreation infrastructure, same thing, all around, still not really connected that well. And like things I think I can still bring to the table to help improve the whole scene.
Yeah.
And so when you put all of that together, I started to realize this winter that I've got more than full-time work in all of these projects I have going on. And it was time for me to step away from the government job and take a deep breath. Government work is difficult. And like, I don't know, like schools are kind of tied to that sometimes. So maybe you have some background in that, but when and it's tough now because I come in from this outdoor rec world and the community of that, and like the sometimes animosity towards government and like parks and whatever and stuff. And like, there can be some friction there often. But now I've spent 7 or whatever years on the other side of that card and being like, oh, wow, like I understand this now. Like, these people are handcuffed with the system and this, and they can't do this and they can do that, but they can't do this, but you can do this. And bridging that gap was
it's like an advisor role, right? Like,
yeah, it was coordinator was a good term for it, because I built trail and I maintained trail, did all the labor stuff that I love.
Yeah.
But the coordinating part with the community, and it was all a lot of part of this one project where we were taking a road trail system that people loved and making it government official, which I totally understand is a difficult process. And like, I was learning as I was going to, and people would get their feathers ruffled by something I would do or say or whatever. But when you're in the government, it's everyone, right?
Yes.
So it's all these different groups, and trying to like make sure every group is involved, but like, how much time can you really get everyone involved? It's like, oh God, and then everybody's coming out of the woodwork. And then as soon as a shovel hits the ground, everyone starts to freak out, because then they see it in the woods and they're like, oh my God, the woods, and you're blowing it. I'm like, I know, it looks like a war zone in here right now, but once I come through and do the finish work, then this is this and this. And that was a very, very difficult process. And, it kind of like burned me out to a certain degree on government work, but it made me a better trail builder for sure. It was where I got my chops, you know, and learned the process. But it was also very good for me to see the other side of that card. And so now, as I go forward on the private side, I'm probably going to be doing work with some of these people again, and I have a better understanding of what these parks departments and these government officials and politicians and all of them are actually dealing with in their day-to-day, because it's not what everybody thinks it is, and there's so much more to it than anybody sees. And like, there's all these shovel hits the ground. Yeah, everybody freaks out when the shovel hits the ground, but there was probably 3 to 5 years of work before a shovel ever hit the ground.
That's right.
And then someone comes out, and I'm digging in the forest, and someone's like, hey, I don't like this. Can you do it this way and change this? And I'm like, God, I wish.
Yeah, where were you?
Like 5 years ago, when I was trying to get people to help, and but it's tough, but a lot of learning, a lot of good.
Well, you know what I'm hearing from you is like my friend Chris. I went to high school with his wife. She is a phys ed teacher and a teacher locally. I came across Chris. He lived closer to Toronto than I did, and our paths never really crossed, but we had friends in common, and he's a very humble Olympic-style wrestler, and he always says that he's had the pleasure to be beaten by some of the best in the world, and his wife, Paula, wanted a different scene, I guess, so she left her job down here in the south and flew up to the Arctic, to Cambridge Bay and Nunavut. And I don't know if she was, I think she became a principal up there. They had a family meeting. She was up there. She was going up there for a couple of years, and they had a family meeting. And I love how they said this. It's like, the family voted that Mom needed to stay up there. Stay away, Mom. So then Chris, thousands of kilometers away. You know what that's like from his wife. And his kids were in university. So he retired from our school board, moved up there. And like, what are you going to do? Fill your time, right, in the Arctic? and I told Chris, I said, you're my favorite black guy because you love winter. Like all my friends who are from Jamaica, because he's got a house in Cambridge Bay, and he has a house in Jamaica and a cottage here just north of us in Algonquin Park. And he says, he was given an opportunity when he was a young person to do outdoor activities, and he just loved it. And anyway, so he decided up there, he looked at the state of Indigenous youth and their future. And so he says, I've got a skill. So he started, I think it's Cambridge Bay Wrestling. And he started with a few kids, and he thought he'd be there for a few years and he'd be done. And when you were talking about this, the legacy part of it, that if you want to maintain it, you got to stay involved. And they've been there 10 years now doing this wrestling, and it's all across the north. They take kids to the Canada Summer Games, and these are kids who would never, ever have the opportunity to travel to the south. They're isolated, and when they come down here, they're like, oh, we feel like we belong to the country. Could you imagine that? Like, we belong to the country? Yeah. Right. So that legacy, I don't know how much longer, because everybody was saying, "Oh, we can't wait for the next 10 years," and I was like, "Yeah, Chris, you're going to be like 77, man."
Yeah, well, that's what you got to start to train up
and that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's got some, there's this young fella who aged out, I guess, and he's 20 years old. I don't know where he is, Baker Lake, I think, or something like that. And he's got a half a dozen wrestlers, and they move around. And people don't realize in our north, to go, from the east part to the western part of our north could take 2 or 3 or 4 days of flying. You know, we don't have the routes that America has in the skies.
Totally. And especially that far out in some of those remote zones where he's probably going.
Yeah. You have to build sustainability into your programs. Are you building sustainability?
Well, that's the idea, right? That's what I kind of saw with my parks thing. Like, I kind of saw the writing on the wall a few years ago, and we were doing some changes with the hierarchy in my position itself. We actually took my position and broke it into 2.
Oh, yes.
And like separated it with the east side and west side parks and all this different stuff. But I was lucky we hired another guy, Matty Canoyer, which is kind of a crazy story because he worked at Powder Mountain.
Oh, wow.
Right where I was at and all this stuff. And they when they were going to hire this new guy, they called me in for the interview and they're like, "Oh, these are the resumes we got. Check them out." And I grabbed the one. I'm like, "Well, this is your guy right here. I know that guy he used as a reference. I know that guy he used as a reference.
Right.
I've ridden the trails he's talking about that he built."
Right.
But he took over on the east side. And then there's a young guy, Ryan, hopefully, or whoever. I think they're hiring for the west side now.
Wow.
And so hopefully a legacy of maintenance now.
Yeah.
And
that's the hardest part.
But that's the beauty. Yeah. Well, the beauty of this area is we have a mountain bike club camp out here that will do their part on the mountain bike side at least and maintain those trails.
Yeah.
The more traffic you have, the multi-use trails and all that stuff, like it's just it's happening.
It is.
It's happening here. The NICA mountain bike program with those high school kids is like enormous and blossoming.
Right.
And I see people riding all the time and just even hiking and whatnot. People I grew up with are like, "Hey, what's this? And what are these trails?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Yeah, it's all here.
Yeah.
We have it all. It's just smaller.
Yeah.
But it's all here."
Yeah.
And so that's
I know that's why I always think that some of our best mountain bike racers, I call them cross country because they're not mountains. They come from the east, right? Because when you take a look at competitions, they can ride the steep stuff and then they can actually ride the rollers, the small hills and that actually take more riding than descending.
Right. And racing, I mean, there's so much in mountain bike racing and the different kinds and all the different stuff. But like, I think the point you're getting to is like for a certain kind of mountain bike racing, like you can do everything you need to do wherever you need to do it. And like even here where I live now, like our NICA teams are killing it. They won state one year.
Wow.
Like it's great.
Yeah.
And these kids are in Kenosha County and like the surrounding areas and like pulling it off.
Yeah.
Against larger systems up in northern Wisconsin, which we've got great mountain biking all over the northern part of the state and the west. Like it's all happening all around. And
I have a couple former students.
Level, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have a couple former students who are heavily involved. I think one of them might be like the chairperson of the group, putting in these trails around this small little town, and it's great seeing them what they're doing. And then they use parts of those trails to do their ski the woods stuff. They've got young boys and girls, and they're out there building little jumps and having all sorts of fun.
That's the thing. Midwest Telefest with their relationship with the Porkies at Porcupine Mountain State Park.
Yeah.
And we go up in Glade ski trails.
Yeah.
So it's like the same. And I've gone up once. My dad's gone up, but they do it twice a year.
Yeah.
And it's a similar type of thing. Like it's not building trails, but it's a group of folks in an organization going out, doing that type of work to create these outdoor recreation environments that we all want to have. Because as you know, in the Midwest and the East and all that, like if you don't glade, it's hard to ski the woods.
Yeah. That's my big fear. That's my big fear too, because like you referenced, being a large organism, I'm not as agile as you are.
Right, yeah, for sure. But like in the Porkies with the Telefest and Yasik and his push, and they glade all that stuff up there. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hardwood powder skiing when it's good.
Yeah.
500 or 600 vertical feet or whatever it is, but it's great.
Yeah.
And I see all this stuff on the East Coast more where you're at too, like Granite Backcountry and all these East Coast places glading.
Yeah.
For backcountry skiing in Bohemia. I think they're trying to do something with voodoo, and like I heard rumors of some glading up in Copper Harbor.
Oh, right on.
All this stuff all over the place. It's all going on.
Yeah.
In these small places, you know, pair of tele skis and some fish scales, and you go meadow skipping and the Midwest. Like here in my home, my property, I have a hill. We'd laugh.
Yeah.
I have a hill call it the pea gravel spine, because in the gravel pit area, there's a spine of pea gravel. But in the winter, I can ski maybe 10 turns down it.
Right.
Like, hey,
yeah,
fantastic.
I know that the listeners know when we have a snow day, when I was teaching and the buses were canceled, I'd come home at lunchtime, grab my ski stuff, go back towards school. And there's this boulevard on the side of a road, and the trees are perfectly spaced. You could figure eight the trees, and the kids would come back, and the next day and go, "Hey, Mr. Woods, you were skiing at lunchtime yesterday, right?" I was like, "Yeah." Indeed. You know what? I do 8 turns.
Yeah.
And then, and then I just click out my skis and walk up the road and click them back on and come back down.
And my favorite part is you did it on your lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that is, like...
Yeah.
Sure, you can go to Alaska and ski huge things, but you can also go meadow skipping at lunch at the boulevard.
Right. Yeah.
Above the boulevard. Like,
in-town skiing.
I love it. Yeah, I love it so much.
Well, I want to thank you for taking an hour or so, and I just looked. It's like exactly an hour.
Perfect.
It's great to do this. I appreciate your time and love hearing your stories, man. And
yeah, I like telling them. I mean, I think this day and age, storytelling is a commodity and a gift. When I go do these presentations and stuff, that's really all it is storytelling. And
that was my entire career as a teacher.
Yeah. Well, teaching. Right? Yeah. If you can make it into a story where someone actually wants to pay attention to what you're saying, like.
Yeah. Well, my favorite one was the kids really got angry with me after I told this story about paddling on Lake Superior. And I've mentioned this a couple of times in a couple episodes that, it's really cold at night and you got to pee, but you don't want to get out of your nice warm sleeping bag. And then all of a sudden you hear a zipper go up and it's like, oh, damn. And so, you get out and pee. So me and my tent mate, we go out and we pee. And one of the other guys, the scenery that I saw, the stars in like one of those, what do you call those world UNESCO dark zones?
Yeah, dark sky zones.
Oh my gosh. And then we had a fire here in town and somebody gave me a weird artifact from the fire. So I incorporated it into that story and said, we saw this meteorite and it landed like a couple of 100 yards from our tents. So I ran and I got it and I gave this artifact to the kids and they get to handle it. And they're like, oh, this is so cool. And it's charred a bit and it's made out of material. It was plastic, but they didn't know. And so then I told them, because I said, this is how I want you to write. This is how descriptive. And so I told them that part of the story was true and part wasn't. And they were really upset when the meteorite part was not the true part of the story.
Nice.
And I said, we got to keep this a secret because there are teachers who truly believe that this is a meteorite.
Yes. So you're in on this. You're in on the joke.
That's right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think storytelling is so powerful and useful. And
well, I just think, through before text, right? Yeah. Everything was oral history and storytelling and related to everybody's lives. Yeah.
Yeah, I teach avalanche courses at Weber State, and we have a great young group of teachers as well. And
cool.
That's what I joke sometimes where I'm like, they teach the science, I tell the stories.
Right.
But it's useful to have both because you can make those connections that help.
Yes.
You can connect to the science by the story.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah.
No,
Love doing this kind of stuff. So I was pumped when you when you asked. I know it took me forever to pull it together, but it was.
I know how busy you are having a young family, and it's like one day I'll get JT. So thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah, absolute mayhem around here, but glad to finally.
And the boys are all good.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, that's good.
I always joke like it's when I leave for winter and work, like FaceTime is a blessing, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they're like, oh hey, yeah, Dad, great to see you. Cool, gotta go. I'm busy. I got this, I got that. We got a band concert tonight. You know, like
that's awesome.
It's absolute mayhem, but it's all good and part of the phase of life that I'm in. So I'm gonna eat it up while I can.
Yes, yeah, thing. Yeah. Well, I enjoy watching all your posts on social media. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, well, you know, social media is the thing. You know, you wanna work, and especially as a ski guide, you gotta work the marketing. And
yes.
So I try to work the social media as I can, and do the thing, and try to like tell the real stories too. But I see that as all kind of part of the storytelling part for me with my website and Instagram and all that. So
yeah. So
I like to do that.
If listeners want to follow you, where can they find you?
Well, yeah. So you got JT Robinson on Instagram. It's J.T._Robinson. And then Facebook, obviously you find me there, but then that all leads you to jtrobinson.com.
That I did not know existed until you sent the email.
Totally. Yeah, it exists. I do some more long format storytelling on there, and it goes all the way back to like 2006 when I first started that website, which is funny because it's like a dating thing, right? Like, how did you get jtrobinson.com? Like, that dates you so hard. Like, yeah, well, I was around when the internet kind of first started. So, you know,
that was like me. I think I had an email, like I've been using the internet since 94, and you know, it was all just text-based. There were no images or anything. And then I think AOL came out and Bicycling Magazine was on there, and they were offering space for emails. And so my email was keith@bicycling.com, and all my cycling friends or new people, they were like, "You work for Bicycling Magazine?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, no, I love it. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, jtrobinson.com.
Yeah, I'll be checking that out.
Got it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But nowadays I use it's more long format storytelling, and I've got my sponsor stuff on there.
Oh, cool.
Get in touch with me to get guided trips and do the whole thing.
And shout out to your sponsors. Who are they?
Of course, yeah. I talked about Volet a bit. They've been fantastic. Dave and Haley and Tyler and all the folks, and at Volet, and then Crispy Boots. I've been with them for a few years, and then Flylow. Gosh, I've been with Flylow for a really long time at this point. Long time. I was a long time Descent North America for many of my ProBar years, and then I moved over to Flylow at some point. I've been with Dan and.
Do you have any input with those guys?
Not from like the design perspective, like Evan. I talked about Evan and Darcy. Evan does a lot with them, and like Greg is kind of the brains, and Dan and stuff. They do all that stuff. I've just been on their coattails for like a couple decades at this point.
Because I'm like, you know what? They got to give me some stuff for large organisms.
Yeah, right. So I have a discount code. I can give to my clients and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I can help you out in that.
But I need that to fit me, because I think your bibs would go up one of my legs.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's always tough for you big guys, especially with boots, right? Like
I have a brand new pair of yellow Scarpa comps, you know, like,
nice.
So.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. But,
I hoard big boots.
Yeah. With the boots with Crispy, I'm hoping we'll see some innovation rumors coming out of that side, but I haven't seen anything yet after Scarpa just came with their new stuff.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I was with Scarpa for years and years and years back in the day, and then went to Crispy for a long time.
Right.
So I'm kind of all over the place, but it's I strangely enough, I liked Crispy because they kept the AT heel.
Yes.
Which with my AMGA stuff kind of became a thing where I needed some AT stuff from time to time, or if I'm working 23, 4, 5 days in a row, like 30 days in a row, like, might want to lock my heel down for a little efficiency.
And you still ski the shivers?
Yeah, so I have a shiver and a Evo.
Oh, okay.
And so I quiver those out. One obviously is a 4-buckle gnarlier boot, and then the 3-buckle shiver, lighter,
Yeah, because I remember you mentioning Sean having them, and you made a comment to her about them, and
yeah. I love them.
She loves her boot. She loves them too, especially for a woman, right? Like,
yeah. It's just hard now with Scarpa moving the needle now, and you see that, and you're Crispy's still on that same thing that it's great boot, but what comes next, we'll see. And who knows? I don't know. This is not a this is by no, like, I'm not hearing anything of any nature.
Right.
Like, I don't have a direct line.
Right.
But that'd be great if they did. I'm hoping that happens. But as you know, with Telemark boots, it's a big endeavor, and super grateful Scarpa.
Yeah, big investment.
Yeah, they made a huge investment. So I'm glad to see it doing well. Even as a Crispy guy, it's like, what's good for Telemark right now is
exactly
good for everybody.
And like Adam Sauerwind says there on a pretty good Telemark show, you got to invest in our sport. Like, you have to. I mentioned the Freeheiler. I did a presentation. I do these festival presentations all over. Yeah. And what I have is called Nobody Cares. Right. And I did it at the Freeheiler last time I went. And it's kind of all about that, is like, nobody cares, we Telemark. And that whole saying has this like negative connotativity, and they used to rip on us with it stuff, but it's like, now we can take ownership of it and flip it around and be like, nobody cares, we Telemark. And it's true, because it's just except us. Like, nobody cares except us. Right. You care, I care, Richard cares, and we all care. But it's just us. No one's coming to save us. No one's going to give us these big sponsorship dollars. No one's going to ingest a bunch of capital into the race scene. The Olympics still are not coming. Like, all of this stuff, no one's coming for Telemark. No one's coming for us except for us. So we have to do it all. We have to build it as a community. So like, that was my whole presentation, was about that exact concept. Yeah, that's awesome.
Scarpa is a small company, and boots are a tiny part of their thing, right? But like 22 designs is really small. Yeah, and they,
because they have they have maybe a dozen employees
at best. At best. Like, most of the year it's skeleton, and then they hire more for assembly season.
That's right.
Like, they're fluctuating between maybe a dozen and like a handful. But like, Volet, also a small company. Yeah, they do a bunch of different stuff, like Crispy, same thing, like shoes, all these things. And so for like, even the companies that we see as like bigger companies, they're still small, and we are a small part of their overall product line.
That's right.
And then the companies that are strictly Telemark are so small, right, that like, if we don't invest in ourselves and create our own economy, then we're in trouble. Yeah. Unfortunately, like, if Scarpa decides to stop making Telemark boots, we got a real problem as a sport. Yes. And so I'm so happy to see that thing sell out twice. Two or three times. Yeah. Like,
that's fantastic. Yeah. And that's that's a good, people are like bad mouthing him, but that's a good way to create the hype, right?
Yeah, you got to. And like, even though in that same presentation, I talk about like Telecalo and those guys too. Like, you have to support the movies and all. It's an ecosystem. It is, and no one's going to build it for us.
And that's what I'm trying to do with my podcast, is acknowledge the people, acknowledge all the people who are part of our community, right?
Completely. That's all part of it. And it's such a small industry, and most of us are not in this full time. And we're all like part-timing it here and there. And and because we love it, Yeah. And so
it's been nice. I've talked to some retailers, I'm going to talk to Eric Fay in a couple of weeks. And
so Eric is the North American distributor for
That's
Crispy.
Right. Yeah.
So I deal with Eric all the time. Yeah. That stuff. And like his whole demo tour thing on the East Coast.
Yeah.
As we've talked about already, I'm a big fan of festivals. Yeah. I think that's the best thing we have going as Telemark, and demos and festivals and all of that are just the best. I think the more we can do that, the better we'll be.
Yeah. People fall in love with that vibe, like my two favorite festivals are Midwest Telefest and Telestock in Ellicottville, New York. Like, both of those places, Telestock is one day, but they know how to do it right.
Yeah. I kind of had a thing for years where I told myself I would do one festival a year at a minimum. Right. it's gotten a little busy with my guiding, getting so busy that it's harder for me, but these presentations are helpful. They can hire me to come in and do presentations. But I'm a huge believer in, if Telemark is going to keep rolling, and it's through festivals and through demos and the community side, because the turn is the turn and we love it. And that's why we're all there. And then the community just adds that extra layer and makes people into lifers.
And the other thing is, you see people peddling gear on forums, and I look at some of the prices. I was like, I'm a type of guy, I give stuff away. You may have to pay a little bit. When I took some gear up to my last Midwest Telefest, there's this young woman who came up to me. I had a pair of Vocal, I don't know what they were. They were a backcountry ski, because they had the little insert in the back of the tail and a hole in the tip for your skin, and just G3 targets. And I put $50 on them. She goes, "Why are you selling them?" And they were almost brand new. I said, well, for somebody new to get into it. She just absolutely, she couldn't thank me enough. She got a almost brand new pair of skis for $50.
Yeah, like that. One of my favorite projects in the tele world right now is Lena at Teresi from Italy, has the Telemark Kids project.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, she's gotten all this different collection of kids gear, which, as you know, is very hard to find.
Oh yeah.
To put together. And she travels around with the free healer festivals in Europe.
Okay.
Gets kids on Telemark skis. And when you're talking about growing the sport, like, you can't be any more efficient than hitting kids with Telemark skis.
Yes.
Like at a pivotal age, in my opinion, but that's whatever. But like a kids program of tele skis where you provide the gear and the instruction and the thing, and it travels with the community too. Yeah. Like, that's why, like, I get on her Instagram every once in a while. I'm like, you're doing the most important thing at Telemark right now.
Yeah. You know what, when we disbanded our Telemark Ski Ontario stuff, Kaz, I was getting really tired of schlepping it.
Yeah, it's hard.
I saved gear for my grandchildren. They weren't born at the time. I was like, what? I got really tiny boots. And where are these boots right now? My friend who has young daughter and young son, I was like, I got boots for you. Like, that's the hardest part to get, is boots, right?
Yeah.
And, he was able to cobble together skis and bindings. And I said, yeah, you can use them until you're done and then give them back to me. And then, maybe my grandchildren will be of the age where they can use it.
Totally. I agree. And like, in my hometown of Wilmot, there's a handful of tele skiers here that most of them are on my old gear. Or at one point there was like a baker's dozen or two of them out there all tele skiing together, and half of them were on old gear of mine that a lot of them would buy from me when I was young, because they would support the cause and do the thing, kiddo, and keep charging.
Yeah.
But like, that's, if you can just hand off gear, it doesn't get any better.
Oh, I know, eh?
Like, demo fleets and rental fleets and all that. It's like, we got to get them on their feet and like get them out with instructors if you can.
Yeah.
It's all part of the thing, and
share the
none
love.
of us are rich by any means or anything, so that's all part of it too. But I'm especially with Telecalo guys and going out with them and the young people that they are with and going to festivals and meeting people. Like,
I can't believe the energy some of them have.
Yeah, well,
like Josie Baker at University of Vermont. I was like, she's a live wire, man.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm not worried about Telemark.
Yeah.
Because like, those folks are like flag flying advocates, as I like to say. And
right.
So there's like always that deep contingent of tele skiers and diehards, and that, I think that's what makes us fantastic. We have that, and but it is small, and we have to foster it and build it. It's not just going to go by itself.
Yeah. I think, when you're talking about the companies, I think a lot of people forget how small.
Oh, I know. I know. And so that was part of that presentation for me. It was like getting that across, as being like, look, this is Chris and Collins at 22, or like, this is Haley at Volet, like, these are these people. And like, this is what it is. It's
mom and pop companies.
Yeah. These handfuls of people, even in these companies that you think are big, which are good, stable companies like Scarpa and Crispy and Volet and whatever. But like, it's either a small part of their product line, or if they're tele specific, a very small company.
Yeah.
And even these companies you think are larger are still so small. And it's just us. Nobody cares except us.
my dad's company, Canada's largest importer and distributor of golf accessories. There's only 3 of them.
Right.
Not including his sales reps, because they rep other lines. But in the warehouse, there might be 4 now. I think there might be a 4th. But yeah, that's it.
I think people misunderstand that about a lot of companies in general, but like Telemark especially and specifically it's not this giant mega corporate well-funded capitalized thing.
That's right. Yeah. So that was a long-winded 20-minute.
I know. Well, this is what happens, right? We start talking telly. It's like I'm kind of a quiet guy most of the time, introverted. And my wife jokes like, "Yeah, you're quiet until someone asks you about telemark skiing or ski guiding or trails or permaculture." That was like you've hit all of them today. So
you got to know your topics, man. It was like I'm a really quiet, shy guy, and I was a teacher, and people are like, how'd you pull that off? And I was like, it's a different persona.
Yeah, turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah. So
guide voice. You can turn on guide voice and start yelling at you.
Yeah. That's phys ed teacher voice.
Right. Dad voice.
Yeah. I think my kids left a couple of loads on the chairs at dinner time when I used the dad voice.
You gotta use it every once in a while.
Yeah. Snap to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, man. Take it easy, and I look forward to seeing you in person the next time, hopefully up at Midwest. But now our grandchildren are skiers, and where they live, there aren't any ski hills. So we're gonna be taking them out of school this winter and skiing with us.
Got to bring them to Telefest, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Right on.
All right. Well, you take it easy and enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks again, man.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Great to talk to you. And
same here.
Look forward to seeing you wherever we see you around the bend.
Yeah, you bet. Well, there you go, folks. Another episode of the Skipper Report with my friend JT Robinson. And before I forget, make sure you hit him up on socials, j.t._Robinson on Instagram and on Facebook, and JT Robinson at jtrobinson.com. It was a fun hour and a bit listening to JT sharing his stories and his Telemark Tale and how you can also use investments to fund a ski season or two. Anyways, thanks so much to JT for sitting down with me and doing the episode, and check back later in a couple weeks for another episode of the Skippy Report. Peace out.